We'll guide you through how to fix high RAM usage in your Windows 11. We're going to teach you how to optimize it and bring the memory usage down. If you guys find this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel, ringing the bell icon, and liking the video. Let's get right into it. So if you right click on our taskbar and open Task Manager, as you can see, 43% of my memory is being utilized, mostly by my browser and then some by the other programs that I'm using. We are going to try to bring this down. You might be experiencing some issues with this and your memory usage might be too high, but you're not running many softwares, or it could be that you just don't have sufficient RAM, but you still want your PC to operate fine, which we'll try to help you on. A quick tip for you guys would be to always close out the things that you aren't using, especially web browsers, because they eat up a lot of memory. And if you're not using them, they're just running in the background, they're eating away at your memory, so it's better to just close them out. You could do this by coming to the Task Manager, looking at the services that you aren't using, right click on them, and then click on End Task. So the first thing we should do is press our Windows key and our R key, Windows R, and this pop-up will open up. Over here, we should go ahead and write sysdm.cpl and click on Enter or OK. Once you're here, we're going to have to bring this tab over here and click on Advanced. Performance section is right here, which shows us the visual effects, the processor scheduling, memory usage, and virtual memory. We just press on Settings here. And basically, these are all the animations that Windows uses to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. I don't suggest clicking any of these buttons right here. Adjusting for best appearance will definitely end up taking more memory. Adjusting for best performance will just make your PC look very simple and it could look very janky even. So I don't recommend doing that either. It's just that you can turn off these specific animations, but not all of them. I'm going to tell you which ones you can turn off for your PC to have a good balance between aesthetics and performance. So the first thing you can turn off is animate controls right here. The second thing you can turn off is animations in the taskbar. The third one, enable peak, fade or slide tooltips into view. And then next one would be show shadows under Windows right here, not that important. Show translucent section right here, you can turn that off. Slide open combo boxes. And then the last one would be use drop shadows for icon labels on the desktop. Then you can hit apply and then you can hit OK. This will smooth things out for sure and it will save you some memory. And now we can move on to the next step. So for the next step, just close this out, press your Windows and R key again to open up this pop-up. And then over here, we can write msconfig. Press enter and this will open up. Over here, we need to go to services and then hide all Microsoft services on the bottom side here. Check this, because we cannot be turning these off, and then you'll be left with all these services, which in theory you could turn all of these off. However, some of these may be important. For example, if you use a printer, turning that service off will not be optimal. And also, if you like your things to be updated in the background and you don't have to do it manually, then stopping some of these will actually require you to do manual upgrades to the newest versions. So in that case, you could leave many of these open, but you can check it out. For example, if you don't use the Apple mobile device service, you could stop this. For example, I use the Brave browser. So if you don't want it to update in the background or keep open in the background, you could just stop it. Like, as you can see, I've stopped all of these. For example, this Corsair gaming audio configuration service, I don't use their peripherals anymore, but I used to. So I can just uncheck this and hit apply. And as you can see, the date disabled, it's just popped up. That means this is not disabled. You can check all of these files, and anything that isn't of much value to you, you can just disable. And even if you want to re-enable them, you can always come back and do that, no problem at all. The next thing we should do is hit the startup tab over here and open the task manager, or you could open it manually like I showed you at the start of the video. We should go and disable our startup apps. So over here, it's going to say startup apps on the left-hand side. Open it up, and then you can browse here and see which apps you don't want starting up on their own when you turn your computer on. As you can see, I've disabled most of them because they just start up when I turn my computer on, although I like turning my apps on manually. And this helps both boot the computer up faster and save some RAM. For example, if I didn't want my MSI Center to be loaded up with my computer, I could just right click on it and then hit disable and it will be disabled. You can check these apps out, whichever ones you don't need, just disable them. The next thing we should do is once again bring up the pop-up Windows R, and then we should write in services.msc and then click on OK. Once this pop-up opens up, there are some things over here that you can disable as well, although not too many. The next thing we could turn off is this main right here, although it comes with its cons. For example, it preloads certain softwares that we're going to end up using, and therefore opening them doesn't take a very long time. However, if we turn this off, it will actually take a bit longer to open those programs, and it may be a bit of a hassle for you. So you can see if you want to turn this off or not, but turning it off will provide you some extra RAM. So all we do is just double click it, open it up, and then the startup type, it says automatic. Click on it, click on disabled, apply, and OK. Next thing we should do is open up whichever browser we're using. I'll open Chrome in this instance, click on these three dots, go over to settings, and then we can go to performance. In this performance section, we need to turn this memory saver option on. This will, as the name suggests, help us save some memory by giving less importance to the tabs which have been inactive for a while. Although when you go back, you won't notice much of a difference, but this definitely helps save some memory. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it on myself. Then you can go ahead and set it to either moderate, balanced, or maximum. As you can see, maximum memory savings, your tabs become inactive after a shorter period of time. That means you could just leave your tab, start using another tab, and after a small time, they'll become inactive and free up your RAM. That actually seems like a pretty good thing, and I'm going to go to maximum myself. Now, if you're using a different browser, for example, Brave right here, it's more of the same thing. You just click on the three dots, click on settings, and then for Brave and Microsoft Edge in specific, you hit system over here, and then there's a setting saying continue running background apps when Brave is closed. We don't want that, so just turn it off. And on Microsoft Edge, the procedure is exactly the same. The next thing we should do is press Windows R again, and we should write here sysdm.cpl and hit run. Once it's open, we need to go to the advanced tab over here. And then once again, we've been here before, we need to click settings under performance and go to advanced once again. As you can see, there's this virtual memory tab, which is our total paging file size for all drives. What we're going to do is we're going to open up our registry editor right here. Just click on the search and hit registry editor. And basically we're going to clear out our paging memory at shutdown, which means every time we turn our computer off, the paging memory will be cleared, and when we boot it up again, we should have some more memory to work with. Once you're in the registry editor, we need to navigate a certain path to actually go up and edit our paging memory so it can clear at shutdown. We need to follow this specific path. We need to open up HKey local machine, then go into system, then current control set, then control, then session manager, and finally memory management. Once we're in the memory management tab, this is the first file, clear page file at shutdown. Just double click on the name, and over here we need to change the value data from 0 to 1. Click OK. So now once we go ahead and restart our computer, our memory should be looking much better than it was before. Here in the task manager, you should see a noticeable difference after making all of these changes, especially from your browser and even other apps which were unnecessary. You can also check your performance over here for your memory, how much is being used, and there's a lot of data here which you can compare from before and after. We hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.